Call is now being recorded.
Woke up today with the ice in the windscreen, seated up, waxing up my poor Long Beach tees. Was 20 feet from the west, no testes, no less than the best. What am I gonna rest easy? Tonight I can see moonlight and the high tides coming for me. Think that I'm falling in love with the way the Pacific can caress me up. Green waves crash overhead. I can feel it for me inside ears above head. Would you say, would you say? Take it easy, let the rip pull me up past the wet, wash the weather, let make the face bar. Speech pumping out at the places that we come to. Never let her know that she's the one that you can run to, right? Isn't that what they say? Gotta play coy, even when your heart sleeps, boy. Got to find your own way. I'll never let it down. I gotta get on top of that wave. Would you say, would you stay? Must have been lost in the crash and the spray. Come and play while it stay. Before the raven, come and take the sun away. Away, 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 away.
Hello, welcome to Kai Time, Kai Live. This is Kai Live from inside Union County. Alright, I just said my name 3 times. That's way too much for me. How's it going, people? It's been a long time since I've communicated. I really wanted to, but I haven't been able to. Literally haven't been able to. I've been denied a pen and a pencil flying in the face of the 14th Amendment. I can't write to you guys, otherwise I would. And it all stems from one incident where they thought I was tampering with a rubber pen. Now, if you think that that's believable, you might want to apply for a job here because it's crazy, just absolute stark raving mad. But there is a good side to this, and that's that I've been allowed one book inside of the room. So I got bedding in there and one book. So I've been reading lately, like tonight actually, I've been reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I've been reading books by Pema Chodron, Ram Dass, who's some other good people that I've been reading up on. I'm trying to think of authors, but basically what I've been reading up on is Mayan astrology, the inner self, the realization of who a person is, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about like today. And that's like the concept of Aloha. You know, it's a Hawaiian concept that the more ha you put into something when you're working with it, the better it turns out being, which is why you see on a lot of surf gear, it's made with Aloha. I noticed that when I went surfing in Tofino, which is an epic, awesome place that the previous song was about. That a lot of the stuff was from Santa Cruz or wherever else, but it said made with Aloha. And I was like, what is that ha? What is that ha that people be talking about? And it's actually breath, just the same as prana is. And it's a form of breathing that awakens your consciousness. And when you breathe consciously, aware of your breathing instead of just letting it go to wherever it was before, like, you know, unconscious breathing, which is just straight from the back of your brain, from the medulla oblongata, if you want it to get technical. You actually bring your breathing into the front part of your brain. And then you can actually become conscious of different neural pathways too, which is another part of the ha. And that's kind of where Huna goes into. And that's kind of like magic, pretty much. So, pretty much...
This call may be recorded or monitored.
Ooh. Well, this is all information you can find out online. Or in books. And it's something that's been researched for many thousands of years. They're yogis. They're people who stretch your prana Another word for it is expanding their prana. Another word for that is pranayama. That's another thing I've been looking into. There's different forms of energy and different forms of like kind of spiritual awareness and stuff that you can get to. But going back to Aloha, like the amount of aloha that I feel in the letters that you guys send me, I just wanted to communicate that I really appreciate that ha. I really appreciate the spirit of yourself that you put into the letters that you send me. It really helps while I'm in here, because I have been able to get one letter at a time, as long as I trade the book, get a letter, and then wait to read the letter. And yeah, I just got told I got to hurry this up so that I can take a shower. Yeah, well, an adventure story. All right, so the time when I got a ride from a guy in a camper. I don't know how to tell you this. Like I've never had a good experience with riding in a camper with a guy on a hitchhike ride. Now, if you have, that's your thing. That's cool. But this dude, he was wild bonkers. He's a good guy. He did a tour in Vietnam. He went over there. He was young, bright. He figured he'd be a point man. He got his leg blown off. So he was kind of haunted by that, and you could tell it because even his dog had nightmares at night. He'd wake up in the middle of the night, and he'd look around for his 9mm, and I'd be sleeping up in the top deck, and he'd start yelling at me to who the fuck was I in there, and that he was going to blast me with his 9mm. Now, I'll back this story up a little ways. I was getting out of a Walmart, and I had a load of stuff. It was all dry rations, but I was trying to bring it back to my camp that had that tent that I talked about on Jimmy Kimmel. So I was kind of in a bit of a bind because I needed a getaway car, but I didn't have one. So I was getting away on foot. I managed into the side of some trees. I hid all the stuff in there, put it all amalgamated into a box and into a backpack, and then I started walking into the edge of town with it. So I got on over to this guy's camper who I had met earlier, and then I asked him if he could give me a ride to the edge of town so I could start hitchhiking. He said, sure, and then I showed him all the stuff. And so we ended up riding together for a ways. He's like, you can crash in here for a while. I was like, cool, I'll cook you stuff, because I got all this dry rations. So I ended up cooking stuff for him. It was pretty cool. He kind of got left behind by his family and stuff. Excuse me, and stuff like that. But after riding with him for a while, I kind of figured out why. He told me he had a son he was alienated from, and I couldn't imagine why. But anyway, basically I was riding with him, and when we go to sleep at night, everything would be kind of cool, but you get an aura, and anybody who's known an epileptic knows what an aura feels like, and it's trippy vibes. So I'd wake up, and he'd be waving a 9mm around, saying, I'm going to blast you, all this and that. And I'm like, holy shit. So he drove me from nice, warm California all the way over to snowy Nevada, and he says, now you'll never abandon me. And I was like, holy shit. And meanwhile, there's the whole 9mm action thing going on, and this dog started biting me on the hand, like he had a taste for human flesh. I was like, okay, this is just getting trippy. So he decided that we were going to go over and set up the tent thing over by Modesto, I think it was. But it was somewhere in Southern California, somewhere over near the Tulare. And near the Tulare bus stop, I decided I was going to hop out. So, or not bus stop, truck stop, pardon me. So over by the truck stop, I hopped out as it was still moving. And he's like, I'm taking all your stuff. I was like, fine, take it. And so I hitchhiked into LA on a bus with absolutely nothing to my name. Like no extra clothes, just the clothes on my back, no bedding, no gear, no money, no ID, nothing. I got into LA, and first thing I started...
This call may be recorded or monitored.
First thing I started to do was look for a place to sleep. I couldn't find any place. I was kind of sort of on the edge of town. I didn't know anybody there. I was tripping. I was like, whoa! It was 3:00 in the morning, and these two guys, they showed up over at this gas station where I was trying to bum a ride into the town, into the city, and they're like, dude, what's going on with you, man? You look like a hippie. I'm like, I am a hippie, man. I just came all the way from LA. I just took this trippy ass ride. Now I'm kind of trying to recover. I lost all my stuff. I'm a hitchhiker. They're like, really? You need a place to stay? And I was like, yeah, dude. So I went on over with them. I stayed over at their place. It was pretty cool. And one of them ended up working for the Air Force, and another dude was going to university. They invited me to drink a bunch of rum with them, which is cool. And did that. Then next day, I woke up with mad hangover, and he's like, dude, okay, you wanted to come here for the beaches, right? And I was like, hell yeah. So he's like, whoa, which one do you want to go to? And I was like, Hermosa. Yeah, take me over to Hermosa. So I went on over to Hermosa Beach with them. I spent the day over to Hermosa Beach, got to know some of the local kids there, and then I got to skateboard on a borrowed skateboard there, and then I kind of snuck into a construction site. I kind of made a habit of doing that in LA, construction sites before lease houses. It was pretty cool. Like, there's so many of them around there. So these foreclosed houses nobody's living in. I mean, people could be living in there whether or not they're paying rent, but I suppose that's up to how far you want to go. Yeah. Anyways, that was my beginning of LA story. It was trippy, like, first time being in LA, just living on the street, going from house to house that was foreclosed or getting invited in by strangers, which was pretty cool, like, when that happened. But, you know, it's like going from that to all of a sudden Jimmy Kimmel and, like, there's people production studios paying for me to stay at a hotel and stuff like that. It's like, well, why didn't you care about, like, you know, any of my comments and goings before? It was a real head trip, like, to see the difference in the city before being famous and after being famous. One thing I did notice was the spirit of the city of LA. Now it's so fucking gnarly. Like, I'd be kind of chilling out at a bus stop, and I'd be thinking about something, and there'd be an externalization of whatever I was thinking of just happening around me at any point in time. It's pretty cool. I guess that's where its namesake comes from, Los Angeles, which is the messenger. But yeah, I'm long-winded. I'm talking so much. I'm so happy y'all are listening to me. This is cool. I got told that there's like 2,000 people who were tuned in to the last Kai broadcast and that they did a Daily Mail thing, so I'm really happy about that. I hope that y'all are doing good, and once again, I'm sorry for not writing you. As soon as I get a pen or a pencil back, I'll start writing back again. And hopefully, I'm writing to see if I can get a radio. Oh, that would make my day so much cool. Like, without music, life is, life is kind of boring without music. But, okay, you guys have a great day. Much love. Peace.